the departure to Sydney FC came about, I guess, knowing obviously we're all part of the league and Sydney FC hate victory and vice versa, the fans. What was the reason behind that decision? I'm assuming financial was a big thing, but like, was it something that you never thought you would obviously do, and then once it came up, it was just too good, or?
Um, yeah, probably something that I wouldn't have thought would come up. But what most people don't know is that obviously that last season at Victory, Muskie announced that he was leaving to us like a week or two before the season finished. So I think even for the club, obviously they were aware because I don't think they sacked him. I think they parted mutually. You know, sometimes clubs say that and it's actually just they sack the coach. But I think they both, I think, left on good terms. So they probably weren't sure that it was happening, and um, there was a bit of uncertainty around the club. And I, had a really good year. I scored, I think, 15 goals, and I hadn't been offered a deal to stay on. Which is quite mad if you think like if somebody's doing well, you probably try tie them up in Jan Feb, to avoid that sort of problem. So there was nothing on the table. I was sort of probably looking more to go to Middle East or Japan or something. Is something I always wanted to do. But then Sydney came in obviously with a great offer in like early June, which, as you know, Steph, like the Japanese market doesn't sort of open till the end of June, July, where their window opens, and Middle East as well. There's a few sniffs, but nothing concrete. And the offer was too good to gamble and wait like for something over there to happen. And while this was happening, I'm messaging Victory and calling Victory saying, "Look, I've got another offer on the table. Are you going to offer me something?" Blah blah blah. Because I did want to stay. It's the club I've been at for 5 years. Nothing, and then I ended up signing for Sydney. And I remember I went to Sydney to do my presser at the Opera House, and Victory had put out a statement saying that they'd offered me a deal, but I turned it down. Obviously making me look pretty bad. But what happened, and I found this out after. Danny Townsend had called Victory's CEO, I think a day or two before my presser, to let them know that I'd signed for them. Just a courtesy call, I guess. I don't know. So then that night, after I'd already signed and told them that I was signing elsewhere, that night they had sent me just a token contract offer, just to say in their statement that they offered me a deal that I rejected. So that was sort of that. Again, it wasn't like left Victory for Sydney. I didn't really have a choice. There was nothing on the table until a token contract after they knew I already signed elsewhere. So, but yeah, again, probably something that I didn't know or think was going to happen, but joined another pretty unbelievable team and won another championship there my first year. And like that team was probably up there in all-time teams that I've played for too, to be honest. It's ridiculous.
Play for some good ones, that's for sure.
Yeah. Timing's been all right.
But that's it. And that's the thing, obviously, for fans. And I completely understand fans because, I wouldn't want to see one of the best players of Liverpool or, a team that I support leave to go to a rival or to go to another club. But you got to be pretty naive to think that, that players don't also need to look after themselves. I would like to see, some fans, if they had a job opportunity to go somewhere else that was maybe a rival company or something that were going to maybe double or triple their salary, that they wouldn't accept that to be in a better position to provide for their families. And it's no different for us as footballers at the end of the day. We're just human and our careers are quite short. But none of that would have even happened if Victory just came to you from early. I'm sure that wasn't in your thinking that, hey, I'm actually going to go sign for Sydney FC. It was just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and my wife was 6 months pregnant at the time as well, so I would have been easy and probably made more sense for me to stay. So, it's like I said, it's not like I chose Sydney over Victory. There was no choice to make. But yeah, it turned out to work out great, to be honest. And they had a rough few years after then. We pretty much did unbelievably for a couple of years, so it worked out well in terms of, like I said, timing and going into a good team. But yeah, like you said, with those bigger teams, I don't think it happens as much because obviously players are tied down to longer contracts, and then it would have to be a transfer, where they're paying a transfer fee. So in the A-League, if, obviously if I was at Victory and had 2 years on my deal and Sydney wanted to buy me, then if it was up to me, you'd obviously just say, no, you're happy to stay. But like you guys know, transfers only happen through free agency. So it never really happens like that.
It also probably kind of tells the bigger story about why maybe Victory struggled for a couple of years, because if you're not even, trying to lock up one of your best players when you're coming out of contract, then that probably explains maybe the position that the club was in at that stage with who was looking after things up top, and maybe why it did go the way it went as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing sometimes in the, not A-League, just football in general, just be honest with where things stand. If they even said to me, look, we don't know who the coach is yet, we need maybe a week more, or some sort of dialogue, that would make me feel a bit more assured that something could be on the cards to stay. That probably would have helped me sort of delay my decision or something, but there was none of that. So, like I said, pretty easy decision in the end.
Oh, Fred.
Fuck you lot, where's the beer?